elementary as well. Thank you.
At previous meetings, I've revealed Superintendent Roberts' almost $400,000 salary and over $100,000 salary that many teachers and staff members in this district are making. I exposed your abysmal proficiency scores, which are as low as 20% and a shocking 3.4% for your special education students. I've repeatedly called out your hypocrisy and tyrannical actions against speakers at these meetings. You even walked out on me once for doing so. I pointed out your animosity and bullying of a member on your own board. I've exposed this board and even your lawyer for failing to follow state and federal laws and your repeated violations of the Open Meetings Act and Constitution. I even gave each of you copies of the U.S. Constitution. Some of you refuse to take them, even though it's apparent you're not familiar with constitutional rights. Others here have exposed your mismanagement of school funds. There's missing money, money allotted for projects never done, money traced to marijuana shops, some quid pro quo deals, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's been so much focus on this board's corruption and incompetence. I question if these board meetings are bad comedies playing out or a crime documentary series, especially considering there's a group of people here who praise you at every meeting. They insist you're doing a wonderful job. Everything is literally rainbows and unicorns for them. That is, until our side speaks. We're disparaged for demanding transparency and a better education for students. They refuse to acknowledge the irrefutable facts we present. They'd rather push their sexual agendas, divisive curriculum, and political ideologies on students in this district. Apparently, they're content with this district's low scores, high salaries, and lack of accountability. The only request I've heard from them are to keep sexually graphic books in their school libraries and keep those opposing their beliefs out of these meetings. Newsflash to that group here. This is a public meeting, and according to the Open Meetings Act, anyone can attend, regardless if they own property in the district. Not to mention, many of us have family members in this district. Additionally, it's our First Amendment right to address grievances to our government, and a school board is a government body. We will continue to demand accountability and oppose the agendas detrimental to successful education. In the words of George Orwell, in times of universal deceit, telling the truth will be a revolutionary act. So, to you board members and your cheer team, I represent the revolution and I won't back down.
Yes.
Thank you for your comments. Next speaker is Louis Martin.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, members of the board and staff community. First off, I want to say thank you for the follow-up I received from my inquiry last meeting. It was greatly appreciated. Next, I want to get into, we actually touched on a little bit. I researched this Go Guardian thing or whatever it is here. I just wanted to make a few comments on their website. It says, through this partnership, Go Guardian and Center Edge will collaborate on the annual State of Engagement Report and continue to expand the Innovation Incubator by convening an advisory group of diversity, equity, and inclusion experts to help shape the future of learning. Go Guardian holds a fundamental belief in the importance of educational equity and DEI principles that support all learners. With this shared commitment to all students, Go Guardian and Center Edge are establishing an advisory group of experts to provide insights into best practices for DEI and Go Guardian products. This is from one of their social emotional behavioral coaches. The growing need to cultivate social emotional learning skills and practices is evident in school districts across the nation. Learn more about resources and tools that allow for practical application and implementation of SEL in all spaces, virtual or otherwise. Using reflective practices, participants will gain a deeper understanding of how SEL impacts student outcomes and will determine some next steps to ensure sustainability. And truly look at the impacts on student engagement while emphasizing the importance of relationship building. Next, I want to outline some practical approaches to authentically implementing social emotional learning within our classrooms, within our district, within multiple campuses. I really want to look at leveraging in some tools and resources in order to see this seamless integration, so we're all speaking the same language. And we all have the general understanding of how we can continue to promote social emotional learning within our roles, both in education and in other ways. So I would highly recommend you to look into this Go Guardian before you just rubber stamp it like you already did, because I've heard numerous times on multiple occasions from this board that there is no DEI or SEL curriculum in this district. This proves otherwise. You just approved curriculum that's going to be in front of our children every day. The other thing to watch out for, this is data collection. That's all it is. They're collecting data from our kids. Facial recognition, the whole 9 yards. It's no good.
Mm-hmm.
Big brother.
It's a 2030 agenda. The WEF.
Thank you for your comments tonight. Next speaker is Eddie.
Good evening, Mr. Pearl. I'm supposed to address my comments to you, sir. I'm here not about the sexual or pornographic books in school, but I'm here about a particular set of books that has just made its way through a particular company that, along with this school system, along with other school systems in Michigan, have purchased these books. They are by a company called Woke Student Publications, and one in particular book is written by two NYC school teachers, Giuseppe Renbengardo and Anna Battaglia. And this company is also owned by Randy Weingarten. I'm sure that name is familiar because that is the Teachers Union school board president. And the name of this book is Free Palestine. The wheels go round and round as the tank crushes the Palestinians. And this book is made to turn young people into social justice warriors. This book is being read as young as 8 years old by third graders in schools and is presently available in elementary school libraries. Quote, "The wheels on the tank go round and round all through the town. The people in the town, they hold their ground and never back down. The sick new rhyme goes, illustrated with Palestinian kids hurling rocks at Israeli tanks. It shows Israeli tanks and Israeli troops brutally killing Palestinians, which is totally untrue, and this is propaganda being provided to kids in the school. It ends at the end of the story with the bombs in the air go whoosh, 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 all through the sky, from every river to every sea. The people cry, 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 free Palestine, till the wheels on the tanks all fall off." Why is this propaganda in schools? And let's not forget that 45 babies were decapitated and burnt alive in an oven. This was done by Hamas, and the Palestinians have a choice to kick Hamas out, and they have not done so. The other thing I wanted to bring up real quick is that As a candidate for Macomb County Sheriff, a constitutional candidate, I have heard many laws that have been broken by this school board. I would like that school board to keep that in mind if I am elected. And I'll just leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Next speaker.
Yes, I'm all goodbye.
Marlene. Continue.
Okay, let's stop talking about values. The values we're defending no longer exist. There are no longer values worth defending anymore, and as a whole, we have lost our morality and grasp of reality. When our media actively and intentionally misrepresents the facts, we as a whole have lost our morality. When so many in positions of authority and responsibility deny the actual and real data and replace it with bias and falsehoods, we as a whole have no right to claim morality. We have allowed our society to be corrupted by ideologies that simply have no place in any society. When we live in societies where people teach our children that wrong is right, that hate is okay, that nature is wrong, and that we are God with the right to define and destroy the fundamental laws of nature, then we, as a whole, have no morality. Though many believe in them, those who control the many have replaced values with a virus so deadly and corrupt that our next generation are already infected and lost. We as a whole have no right to claim morality because we have watched and allowed and continue to allow the destruction of everything worth fighting for by remaining silent, and the majority do remain silent. Morality by its original meaning simply no longer exists. Why not put Bibles in the schools so there's a choice? Maybe you should review them from cover to cover to see if acceptable. Raising responsible, kind, moral children in a disgusting, irresponsible world is nearly impossible. Thank God for Bibles and the truth.
Thank you for your comments. Next speaker is Peter Cahill. Peter.
Good evening. I'm Peter from Clinton Township. We are losing our rights. We're losing freedom of speech, partially thanks to you. CBS and other school boards imposing more restrictions, stupid rules, banning signs, censoring parents on social media, especially on the Facebook or during board meetings. So lawyers and different organizations like Liberty Justice Center are intervening and demanding to reverse policies. Lawsuits are coming. The district cannot silence parents for its convenience. Public comment is essential to betterment of public schools. The First Amendment protects Americans' vital rights to publicly voice their concern and prohibits government officials from censoring speech they disagree with. USA or Banana Republic, freedom of speech, of censorship. The most important book in civilization is the Bible. Over 2,400 versions in over 1,600 languages. Bible was first published in mid-15th century. Is the most printed book ever. The U.S. Constitution, written by Christians, is based on Bible. Education begins with the right of God's existence and fact that He has communicated to us through creation. Reminder, we have only men and women. 84 genders are